right, what's up, everyone? Swinging Bull here. A regular session about to end here any minute. Matter of fact, there's the closing bell right there of the regular session. So regular session officially closed. Swinging Bull with PB alerts, live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and the Discord as well. Hello, Kitty. Welcome, Nicole, Omar, J-Hex, K-Shay, ASAP, Alpha Mir. Just giving some shout outs here. McNulty, Spare Change. What's up, brother? The Porterhouse, Nikki. Good to see y'all. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone there. So anyways, this is the earnings stream. We have FedEx is going to be reporting, and also Lennar is going to be reporting. So kind of 2 for 1 here. Welcome to the stream, everybody. So let's just kind of go over some basic information. FedEx is reporting at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So that's in about 5 minutes. And Lennar's earnings whispers says 4:30 p.m. Eastern, but sometimes that's a typo. So we'll see when they actually report, but we'll look at FedEx first. So we've got a couple minutes to burn. Just looking at some data here. The first quarter earnings from FedEx was for the EPS was $4.91. So they're going to be reporting second quarter today here in a few minutes. The consensus EPS is $4.82, and the forecast revenue $22.12 billion. So obviously a company that makes quite a bit of money every quarter. Let's look at some of their previous data here. Get that ad out the way. FedEx usually does a pretty good job beating EPS. Just a couple little red blips here every now and then, but overall they usually beat it no problem as far as the forecast goes. And of course the EPS is nice and positive too, several dollars there. As far as what FedEx has reacted, how they reacted from the previous earnings, last earnings on June 25th, they were up over 15% the next day. They went from $255 to $294 one day after earnings. So pretty good, pretty good reaction there. Investors really liked that last earnings. Let's hope they didn't set the expectations too high for this earnings. So we'll see what the data comes in at here in a few minutes. Matter of fact, let me get my other screen pulled up. So as soon as the data for FedEx comes out, I can get that posted for everybody. 1 second, and I'll type that in. Okay, so that's basic. And going into this earnings, FedEx still got about 3 more minutes to kill here, 2 more minutes. FedEx, it looks like they're already getting a reaction here. I don't think the data is out yet. This is either anticipatory price action or maybe the data got released early. Let me refresh my other screen and see if I got anything, because we're definitely getting a bearish reaction. It's down over 10% now. Closed the regular session at $300.38. Now it's kind of flickering volatile candle here. Let me go to 1 minute chart just to kind of zoom in a little bit. But yeah, getting a negative reaction. So I'm assuming the data was leaked or something, because they're not supposed to report for another 1 or 2 minutes, another couple minutes. Let's see. Okay, they did report. So they reported a tad bit early. It was supposed to be 4:05, but it's out. Let me kind of post some data for everybody on YouTube, and let me paste that in there. Okay, so FedEx just reported EPS of $3.60. So they missed on that, because remember we were looking at that. The forecast was $4.82. So they missed by a lot. Okay. EPS forecast $4.82. They came in at $3.60. Ouch. That's kind of a big miss on EPS. And the revenue of $21.6 billion missed expectations of $21.9 billion, which is what we were looking at. It's cut off a little bit. Earnings Whisper says $22.12 billion, but data I'm getting from my source says $21.9 billion. So double miss, and that was one of the first things I said when we were looking at the data from last earnings, and I see it a lot. they were up 15% the next day on the previous earnings. So sometimes, when a stock has a positive reaction like that, sometimes analysts are setting the forecasts for the next earnings a little too high. And that seems to be the case here, because they got a double miss here on earnings. Going into the earnings, they had a PE ratio of 14.38. EPS going into the earnings was 17.23. Now that's the annual EPS. So the EPS that came in just now, $3.60. That's just the quarterly number. FedEx does pay a dividend, 1.8%, $224 million float. And, they are very much a profitable company. You can see here, I mean, they usually profit, as far as positive net income goes, average around $1 billion to $1.5 billion per quarter. So, it's still very much a good company. For the FedEx bulls, it's not all doom and gloom, because it's a solid company. They just missed the forecast, EPS and revenue. They didn't miss the revenue by much, 0.3 billion it looks like, but that EPS, that's just a big miss there. I mean, do the math on that. Consensus was $4.59, and they came in at 360. So 459 minus 360, that's a 99-cent miss on EPS, and the forecast was 459. So they missed EPS by over 20%, 21%. So not good there. Let's see if maybe it starts clawing back. Let me also refresh my other screen and see if there's any guidance or anything of that nature that we can look at. Still kind of waiting on Lennar. Like I said, Earnings Whispers says they report at 4:30, but we'll see what's up with that. I'll keep my eye on the chart. Okay, got people on Twitter here going bonkers on FedEx special delivery. Yep, FedEx kind of getting wrecked here. Definitely not catching a bid at all. Got some data from AlphaSense that we can kind of look at. Let me just pull this over here. Let me minimize that so we can keep our eye on the chart here. And so revenue 21.6 billion. Diluted EPS of 320, adjusted diluted EPS of 360. That's what everyone was looking at there. Operating income 1.08 billion. Let me just keep my eye on Discord and make sure I didn't miss any comments. Yeah, spare change on Discord. Yeah, Iron Condor. Yeah, maybe could have been something. I mean, it's down $33 a share right now, so not sure if maybe that would have been the way to go. But maybe an inverse Iron Condor. Maybe that's what you were referring to, spare change, because I know you play those condors with me a lot. So, but yeah, this probably would have been a good, decent inverse Iron Condor play. I did one on SPY for the Fed meeting yesterday, and ended up hitting 30-40%. I'll show everyone the trade here in a little bit. But got about 250 people joining us between YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and of course we got a handful of people in the Discord tuning in. But just a couple notes from the FedEx, and then we're going to switch over to Lennar and see if anything's being reported with them. That they are getting some funky looking candles right now, so I'll go over to them here in a second. But just wanted to read some statements from the FedEx president and CEO. So despite a challenging quarter, we remain focused on transforming our network, improving our efficiency, lowering our cost to serve, and enhancing our ability to adapt with speed to evolving market dynamics, said Raj, FedEx Corporation President, Chief CEO, basically. Overall, I remain confident in the value creation opportunities ahead as we focus on reducing our structural costs, growing revenue profitability, and leveraging the insights from our vast collection of data as we continue to build the world's most flexible, efficient, and intelligent network. And another statement here. This looks like it's from the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, John Dietrich. Our revised outlook reflects our continued confidence in the execution of our drive initiatives and the effects of our recent pricing actions. which we expect to help offset weaker than expected demand trends, said John, the CFO. We'll continue to manage our capital prudently and remain committed to our plan to return $3.8 billion to stockholders this fiscal year. Okay, and then there's a little breakdown of some of the data that we were talking about right there. So anyways, obviously initial reaction on FedEx is negative, a big miss on EPS, and they did miss revenue by a little bit. Let me see if I can see anything else that might be important. Let's see, FedEx proof the consumer is cutting back. I guess that could be said. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, so they did cut guidance. So big miss on EPS. They did miss revenue by a little bit, and they revised guidance downwards. And that's probably for the remainder of 2024 fiscal year, or perhaps the third quarter. And then they probably cut down 2025 guidance as well, possibly maybe Q1 of 2025 or something like that. So that's what's going on with FedEx in a nutshell. They missed EPS by a lot, missed revenue by a little bit, and they cut guidance downwards. So it looks like it's probably a congratulation to the FedEx bears. If anyone was short FedEx before the market closed today, through options or whatever, it looks like you're probably going to have a decent payday tomorrow. It's down almost $30 a share right now. We'll see if it can start clawing back up, because like I say, FedEx is still overall a good company. They do got good fundamentals and good financials. It's just they're not really hitting the forecasts, the analyst forecasts and Wall Street forecasts and stuff like that, and they just cut guidance. So if you're not already long on FedEx, perhaps wait. Give it a couple days, make sure the selling has stopped. Sometimes we see these things sell off for a couple days. And matter of fact, if you're watching it in after hours here, let me just put a Fibonacci on this and just kind of get an idea where the 25% retrace is, kind of where it's at right now, a little bit above that. But if we start seeing some of these levels break to the upside, maybe I'll have a little bit more confidence that this thing's going to come clawing back. But we still got quite a few levels to break through before my confidence builds that this is going to bounce back. So it could be, if we don't see this start clawing back in after hours tonight, basically needs to get back above 275, 280, 285, nice $5 clean levels there. And, if it starts doing that, then maybe we got something on our hands here. But if not, definitely for me personally, I'd just give it a couple days to ensure the selling has stopped or at least slowed down before you start going long on this, if you're a FedEx fan, if you will. Let me just check the Discord here. Okay, Agent 47, I see. That's funny. So anyways, got my Fibonacci on here. Just see if some of these levels start breaking back to the upside, and then we kind of go from there. If it does start clawing back, maybe this is a dip buy, right? Because like I said, FedEx overall still is a good company. So maybe there's investors taking advantage of this dip here, because like I say, it closed after a little over $300. The regular session dipped all the way down to 258. So if there were any investors looking for a discount from what the price was before this earnings announcement, they just got a $40 discount down here at 258. So we'll see if the buying pressure builds up and continues to break these levels to the upside and kind of go from there. But like I say, if not, just give it a couple days and make sure the selling is slowed down if you're considering maybe going long on it to participate in this dip buy. Lennar, still not much going on with Lennar, pretty flat. Lennar had 2 million volume today. Average 3-month volume is 2 million, so that's kind of in line with their normal volume. We might not see a move on Lennar. We'll see. Earnings Whispers said it was at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, so that's in about 15 minutes. Let's kind of take a look. Oh wow, look. Okay, just saw it. I don't know if y'all saw that crazy candle that just flickered all the way back up to 300 and came down. That was probably just an anomaly, and I wouldn't. And it looks like that wick just disappeared too. So FedEx still down here below 275. So we'll see what happens. Lennar, going into this earnings for Lennar, they were sitting on forecast, basically a forward PE ratio of 13.45, EPS 14.73, and they also pay a low dividend, 1%. I know it's not a lot, but better than nothing. Free float 244 million, basically 245 million. Let's look at the financials of Lennar. Yeah, they're a profitable company. They have positive net income, kind of similar to FedEx, kind of in a range of like 1 to 1.4 billion each quarter. So very similar net income that FedEx has, that Lennar has. So that's kind of interesting. But anyways, let me just look at the balance sheet. Debt to asset, only 30%. So Lennar's not really carrying a lot of debt compared to how many assets they have. So that's really good. Low debt to asset ratio, only 30%. Really liking that. Lennar, another solid, company, just from looking at everything from a bird's eye view. This is a good company. I like what I'm seeing, just kind of on some of the basic stuff I'm looking at. And let's look at the chart. Not really seeing any volume or anything. Let me pull up my other screen and just kind of see what people are saying, because I doesn't look like the data's out. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, Lennar, LEN, ticker symbol LEN. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, their data is not out yet. Okay, so I'll stand by for that, because from what I'm showing, it's 4:30 p.m. Eastern, so we got about 14 minutes on Lennar. I'll come back to FedEx every now and then and just kind of see what these candles are doing and how they're printing on this Fibonacci, and we'll glance at it every now and then. As far as Lennar, let's see. Okay, consensus EPS $3.62, forecast revenue 9.29 billion. And let's take a look at some of the previous earnings. Yeah, they always do a great job beating EPS. Just one little red blip here from the end of 2022 where they missed. But other than that, solid earnings from Lennar as far as EPS goes, and beating the EPS, and their EPS is nice and positive. So that's nice to see there. The reaction one day after their previous earnings, not so good. So either they've been cutting guidance, earnings after earnings, or maybe their revenue's been falling short. But the EPS numbers from the previous earnings is definitely not that, because they always do a good job beating the EPS. So it's either revenue or guidance, or maybe some margin data or something like that. So we'll see what their earnings data comes in at. And I'm just going to refresh my other screen, and I think I'll have a little bit of time to go over the SPY inverse iron condor that I took profit on earlier today. Ended up getting like 40% out of it. So let me kind of show everyone that while we're waiting on oops, hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see what we got here. I was just kind of looking at some of the options flow that was flowing into Lennar today before this earnings, and kind of a mixed bag here. I'll go over it in a little bit more detail later, but let me get this pop out of the way. Okay, let's go back to the sticks real quick. Okay, let me go back to Webull actually. Just trading view. Okay, all right, so Lennar kind of just, FedEx kind of just hanging out up here, a little bit above the 25% retrace, so just right below 275. Like I said, we get a clean break at 275, maybe this has a chance of coming back, but until that happens, I'm not getting my hopes up. Let me zoom in on 1 minute on Lennar, and just getting some low volume candles here, nothing really anything to look at. So I'm still waiting on Lennar. All right, let's go over real quick the SPY inverse iron condor trade that I opened up yesterday for the Fed interest rate announcement. I'll kind of pull it up here on my screen so everyone can see. Hopefully everyone can see that image. So basically what I did was I put a call debit spread above the price of SPY. Prajesh on YouTube. I hope I pronounced that right. And he says, thank you for covering these earnings. Absolutely. Yeah. And if you have any questions or any, about the tickers, just let me know in the chats and I'll definitely get right to it. So this SPY inverse iron condor I opened up yesterday. I put a call debit spread above the price of SPY. You can see right here when I took a screenshot of this trade, SPY was trading around $563. This was yesterday, and actually this was yesterday. So I put a call debit spread up top of the price of SPY, which basically I sold to open the 571 call, and then I bought to open the 570 call. And that created a call debit spread. And then I did the same thing below the price of SPY, which was a put debit spread. So I bought to open the 557 put, and I sold to open the 556 put. In essence, what this did by putting a call debit spread on each side of the price of SPY is I formed an inverse iron condor. Okay, and that's different than a traditional iron condor. A traditional iron condor is a credit spread on each side of the price of the underlying price, and we're kind of trying to trap the underlying price in the middle, right? Let me go back to the candlesticks just real quick, make sure there's okay, nothing going on with Lennar still just sitting there. Luke on YouTube says if Lennar doesn't go up, my wife will leave me. Fingers crossed, guys. Hey, man, I'm crossing my fingers and my toes for you. Hope that doesn't happen. So, anyways, so let's go back to because if Lennar is reporting at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, we still got about 9 more minutes to burn here. So let me just keep going over this play. So, anyways, traditional iron condor, 2 credit spreads on each side of the underlying price, where we're trying to trap the underlying price in the middle. This is the opposite, where I usually whip these trades out if we're expecting a big move, okay? And I think the expected move for Friday's expiration on SPY when I initially opened this trade yesterday was, I think it was like $10, or it was like 10 or 12 the bucks or something like that. So what I did is I made sure when I centered my inverse iron condor here, I made sure that the move for it to go up and the move for it to go down, I made sure I was within that $10 expected move, just to give me a little more confidence in the trade. So how this trade works is it doesn't matter if SPY goes to the moon or SPY burns to the ground. We get paid either way. Okay, so there's kind of 2 ways to get paid on this. So I'm not going to call it a neutral trade because we do need the underlying to make a move. Where the risk lies is if SPY just stays flat and stays in this red 10. That's where the risk is. But obviously that didn't happen. SPY ended up hitting what SPY hit today? It was like 570. Almost hit 573. It hit 572.88. So of course I was in the profit, and even though there's a call debit spread on each side of the price, since each call debit spread is only $1 wide, this is technically a $1 iron condor, which is $100. So the entire value of this inverse iron condor is $100, and that's where you see the max loss of 53, max profit of 47, almost a 1-to-1 risk reward, close enough for me. Again, the screenshot was taken when I opened up the trade. But SPY obviously had a beautiful pre-market and ended up above 570. And this was an Oxy call debit spread I did the other day as well. I got almost 25% on that. This was a NVIDIA cash secured put that's started printing for me today. And okay, so I took a little over 26% on this inverse iron condor. Easy money. I mean, the trades don't get much easier than that, and ended up going for over 40% plus. So I know there was some other members that probably didn't take profit when I did, and probably got more profit than I did. So anyways, just wanted to go over that real quick. Let me go back to the candlesticks. Let's look at FedEx, see if it's doing anything. FDX. Okay. All right, it's trying to come back. it's already breached 2 of these retrace levels. So basically, okay, it's coming back. Well, I'm just getting more of these little flicker candles on Webull. Not really seeing those candles on TradingView. So probably just a little glitch on the Webull charts there. But FedEx is trying to claw back. Let me look at some YouTube comments, make sure I didn't miss anything here. Yeah, all the best, Luke. I'm rooting for you. Prajesh on YouTube, expected move is $20. Yeah, two standard deviations. So basically, it did move $40 move when it initially went down to 258. So basically doubled the expected move. But yeah, it does look like it's coming back. So I agree with you, Prajesh on YouTube. It's definitely starting to claw back. So for the FedEx bulls, like I said, it's not all doom and gloom. They got a negative reaction because they missed EPS by a ton, and they guided a little lower for remainder of fiscal year 2024 and probably Q1 of 2025. They probably adjusted down a little bit. But like I say, with all that said, it's still a solid company. So I think this could be turn into a dip buy opportunity. And if this holds up, it obviously did. So 40-point move to the downside, and now we got buyers entering the trade. You can even see on the order book on Webull, there's a pretty good buy side imbalance here. So it does look like we got dip buyers entering the trade now. So that's good for the FedEx bulls. Yeah, Agni on YouTube. Yeah, I noticed that on Webull a lot. That's why I usually have Thinkorswim pulled up on another screen or trading. I like using TradingView, of course, for a lot of my trades. So I always like to check the other charts because Webull does be doing that. You'll see these huge flickers and wick ups, and sometimes they disappear, sometimes they stay there, and kind of aggravating too when you're trying to read charts and you get that big wick in there and it won't let you zoom in all the way, and it just kind of gets frustrating. But yeah, I definitely see that as well. See that a lot in pre-market and after hours. Absolutely, Agni. That's what I see too. All right, let's go back to Lennar and see what's going on. I mean, I'm just not. We got some volume here. Okay, we got some sell orders at 191.98. Those could be people already long who have a limit sell there, or they could be people with a sell to open for a short. We don't know yet. So let's just kind of see what happens. But basically, $192. You got an order of 3,000 just kind of sitting there. We'll see if that ends up getting chewed through or if it just gets pulled from the book. But anyways, yeah, what time is it? 4:27 p.m. All right, so it's supposed to be 4:30 for Lennar. So we just got a couple more minutes here. Let's see what the deal is. And of course, everyone knows the Fed's cut the interest rates by 0.50 yesterday. And I've been in real estate for a long time, going on 16 years now over here in the state of Florida. I've been in the real estate business. And, I have to say that this 0.50 cut, what that's going to do to home values is we're probably going to see another leg up with home values. For anyone sitting on the sideline that was hoping prices of real estate are going to be dropping, I wouldn't count on that anytime soon. There's a lot of pent up demand, buyers sitting on the sideline that, with their hands like this, just waiting for some interest rate reductions. And we got the first big one yesterday, and they're saying they'll probably do another 0.5 or maybe even a whole point, in the next, maybe by the end of the year or Q1 of next year, probably be another whole point reduced. My point is, if you're waiting for real estate values to go down, that's not going to happen anytime soon with this interest rate reductions. So what that's going to do is there's going to be a ton of buyers that are going to enter the market that were sitting on the sidelines. That's going to increase demand again, and of course, without fixing the supply issue, and different points of view on how we're going to fix that. But with the supply still being low and tons of demand in real estate, you can absolutely bet that there's going to be, sellers are going to be in a multiple offer situation again. We're going right back down that road again, where there's going to be multiple offers on every single property. It's going to drive the prices of homes up again. And, nothing's a guarantee but I'm quite certain that that's probably what's going to happen. So if you own a piece of real estate right now, maybe just hang on to it, because I do see another leg up on real estate values, especially over here in Florida. That's where I'm at. So still waiting on Lennar. Okay, it's officially 4:30, and we are getting some action. All right, close the regular session at 192.45. Kind of had some low volume candles that brought it down to 190, but here we are. It's on the move, folks. Up over $7 an hour, $7 in after hours, $7 per share, about 4% green. So who was that on YouTube? Luke, I think you're going to be okay, brother. I don't think your wife's going to be mad at you, but let's just, let's not count our tokens yet, because, let's make sure this isn't some sort of fake out move and it goes the other way. Matter of fact, that reminds me, let me refresh my other screen and see if I got some actual data for everyone here. Okay, let me see here. And just a little neat stat. Lennar is the second largest home builder in the nation. So that's a little fun fact there. Let me see here. Okay, following the Federal Reserve's decision to lower the benchmark rate by 0.5%, home builder stocks are gaining momentum. Yeah, and it also makes you think too, with the interest rates going down, and people that were sitting on the sidelines, hesitant to enter the real estate market. Well, now that the rates are dropping, now those buyers are going to enter the market, and good percentage of them could be want a brand new home, from people like Lennar and KB Home and stuff like that. I bet KB Home's getting a bid right now too. Let's see, KBH. Okay, kind of looks a little ugly there. KB Homes didn't even have 1 million volume today. They just got this little spotty candle up here at $90. Nothing really going on with KB Home. We'll see. Maybe they catch a bid tomorrow if Lennar keeps pumping. Let me go back to FedEx real quick, just make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, FedEx still kind of slowly working its way back up. This might be clawing back kind of slowly. Let me see here. Yeah, Prajesh, that's a good point. I would expect Lennar to raise guidance, because I would expect that they're going to be expecting more customers with the rates being dropped. There's going to be some buyers entering the real estate market, and like I said before, a good percentage of them are probably going to go new home, new construction. So I would think they would raise guidance. I'm still waiting on data. Let me refresh my other screen. And let me also check Discord, make sure I didn't miss anything there. Okay, let's take a look. Yo Badge on Discord. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Okay, let me go back to my Lennar stuff here. Okay, I got some data on Lennar. Let's just kind of take a peek at this real quick, y'all, and then I'll see if I can find some guidance. But double B, Lennar double B. Look at this. Forecast that, wow, they smashed EPS by a lot, and almost half. I mean, a third of $1 billion they beat on revenue. So expected EPS 3.62 came the numbers that came in 4.26, big solid beat on EPS. I love it. Revenue expected was 9.15 billion, came in 9.416 billion. So almost a third of $1 billion beat on revenue. Great data, double beat Lennar. Congrats to the company on that and the shareholders if this holds up. Now, of course, we need to find out some forward guidance, which we were just talking about that with someone on YouTube. I would expect forward guidance to go up, and probably the remainder of fiscal year 2024, and then probably Q1 of 2025 they'll raise. Let's look at some Lennar data, because I know there was quite a few people here for Lennar earnings price reaction. So let's just kind of go over a couple things, and it's good to talk about the housing market as well. But what kind of economic environment is Lennar stating? Strong employment, economic backdrop remains favorable for home builders with robust employment levels. That's good. a chronic housing supply shortage, this is the time the new home builders need to strike. They have an opportunity to help with the housing supply right now. And if things are going good for the home builders, that's going to be good for the housing supply, which is good for, the regular, American citizen that wants to buy a house, or just anyone in America that wants to buy a house. Solid demand driven by strong household formation. Demand for homes remains strong despite affordability challenges. Sales and deliveries. New orders increased 5% year over year to 20,587. So seeing some growth there with the new home sales, with the new orders. Home deliveries rose by 16% to 21,516, indicating a positive response to market conditions and sales incentives. Okay. Average sales price slightly decreased to 422,000, attributed to market pricing strategies and increased use of incentives. Yeah, because we all know new home builders, they always give really good incentives to buyers. Usually it's like a super duper stainless steel appliance package, or upgraded tiling or flooring, and interest rate buy downs. I've seen a lot of that with new home builders. They're offering great buy downs. So that obviously the average sales price would be affected by that. Getting a little bit of bearishness on Lennar. Let's see what's going on here. We definitely have a sell side imbalance on the order book. So something's up. Let me see if I can figure out what it was. Financial performance, net earnings increased by 5% to 1.2 billion. Okay, gross margin, 22.5% margin. That's really good double-digit margin, I think. We see a lot of companies with 10, 15% margin, but 22.5% margin, not bad. It is slightly lower than expectations, but influenced by rising land costs and decreased revenue per square foot. Future outlook. Okay, interest rate impact. The recent Federal Reserve interest rate decrease is expected to enhance affordability and stimulate demand for new and existing homes. And we're talking about that with my friend over here on YouTube, Prajesh. We were just talking about that. It's going to increase demand. So I'm not quite sure where the selling's coming from. Guidance for Q4 of 2024, anticipated deliveries between 22,500 and 23,000, with gross margins expected to remain flat compared to Q3. So it doesn't really look like they increased guidance upwards. Maybe when they report Q3, maybe they'll adjust guidance upwards for 2025. Maybe that could be something that we could look forward to on that. So just a little bit of a conclusion. Lennar's performance in Q3 2024 illustrates resilience in the housing market, with strategic initiatives aimed at capitalizing on favorable economic conditions and addressing supply challenges. Anticipated effects of lower interest rates may further bolster demand, which I think is going to happen, positioning the company for continued growth in the housing cycle. So that's what we got on Lennar. Okay, from what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like they increased guidance yet, because the guidance for Q4 of 2024, their expected gross margins are remaining flat compared to Q3. I think what's going to happen is probably when they go to announce Q3 earnings, which would be the next earnings later this year, they'll probably adjust guidance upwards for 2025. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating with this. Yeah, Prajesh on YouTube, I hear you. They brought it back to where it started. Market does what it does the best. So yeah, that's what we got on Lennar. So just to kind of summarize, FedEx initial bearish reaction. They lowered guidance down, bad beat on the EPS. They also they also missed revenue. So kind of a triple miss on FedEx. Missed EPS, revenue, and they basically guided lower. Lennar, they had a double beat. They beat EPS and they beat revenue. To be honest, there's just not a lot of volume on this right now. Maybe if it had more volume, we would see something else. But initial reaction on Lennar was positive. You can see here it closed the regular session at $192.45, up 2% on the day. It did kind of wick up to a little over 200, and then for some reason some sellers stepped into the picture, and we got a little bit of selling, but it's not really down much. It's only down 2%. So maybe this is one that we'll get a trend day out of it tomorrow or something, but not really a big move at the moment. So, and again, keep your eye on FedEx. I'm looking for 280 to break and 285 to break to the upside for it to give me increased confidence that maybe this is going to retrace and perhaps come back to baseline here. But until we get above, and more specifically, needs to get above 275 and hold. But nice, clean $5 levels just to keep in mind. 275, 280, 285. These are the Fibonacci retracements. They're just good levels. Don't base your entire trade off these levels, but just good levels from a bird's eye view. You can pull it up real quickly and kind of give you an indication. Is this retracing or not? Are these fib levels acting like resistance? Or is it the price breaking through it to the upside and retracing? So that's kind of what I use it for. But right now, just having trouble at 275. So we'll see what happens. Keep your eye. It's trading at 272. So basically 275 on the top side and 270 on the bottom side. Two important levels. We'll see which one ends up breaking. Of course, we still got another 3 hours and 20 minutes for after hours price. So we'll see what happens. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any comments on Discord or YouTube. Looks like I'm good to go on that front. I did want to talk about another stock that has been popping up here and there, OSTX, and this is a newer ticker, and they're involved in cancer. Okay. It is a biotech medical company, but I like the company. I really like the company. Let me just get some data on it for everyone, so we have more information. But you can see I have it in this ascending channel. So this is back where it IPO'd on August 1st, and as long as it holds the bottom of this channel, this could continue trending up in the ascending channel. So we'll see what happens with that. And also wanted to look at here it is here, because I just wanted to share everyone the exciting things that this company's trying to tackle here, that things that they're doing. So they basically, the purpose of the company, they actually have a couple different products that they're working on, but they target osteosarcoma and solid tumors, which we know is a big need. It's addressing unmet medical needs in kids and adults. And just a little bit about their mission. It's a clinical stage therapeutic company focused on the identification, development, and commercialization of treatments for OS, which is osteosarcoma, and other solid tumors. Okay, so OS Therapies was launched to meet significant unmet need for new treatments in cancers of the bone in kids and adults. Okay, this has been a big problem for us. Osteosarcoma is an extremely challenging and often aggressive cancer that has particular treatment challenges due to location, changing genotypes, and high recurrence rates. So very important we can get a biotech or medical company to find a solution to this cancer, and their goal is to identify lead candidates in the treatment of OS and other solid tumors for clinical development. Okay, and this is their website, ostherapies.com, if anyone wants to take a peek. But I always get excited when I hear about companies working on cancer stuff, because it's like I said, it's a big deal. And it's always good to get a breakthrough every now and then. But some of their candidates in their pipeline is you can see right here. So here's kind of the schedule of the basically just the different trials. So they already did a trial on canines, and it actually got approved. Okay, so USDA provisionally approved. They are seeking a global partner on that. And looks like they're already started on human trials. You can kind of see the progress they're making on the trials here. But you can see the products. They have OST, HER2 is one of them. And then they have another one called OST TADC. So it's not like just like a one product deal with this company. They're working on two different things. All right. So it's important. And you know, just I like what the company's trying to do. So I figured I'd put some eyes on it. And you know, of course, we don't have a lot of price action from previous to kind of go off of. So I'm just kind of using the price action from when it got listed over here on August 1st. And so far it's holding this channel. So any of you channel traders out there, you can possibly go long here, keep your stop loss below this channel. And you know, that's what I would do if I was trading it technical analysis wise. But yeah, OSTX, check it out. Great company. And I think, you know, if they have some breakthroughs with this cancer, the trials, you know, this is going to be a big deal for them. You know, this thing could blast off for sure. Let's go back to Lennar just real quick before I end the stream. Let me see, go back intraday here. Okay, yeah, they're down a little bit. They're down 1.9%. So nothing crazy. Technically, it's kind of holding the low of the day from earlier today. So we'll see what happens. But overall, I think the future is bright for Lennar. Number one, they can help out with the housing supply. And number two, with interest rates dropping, you know, getting reduced and getting cut by the feds, that's only going to increase demand for Lennar. And of course, they got a double beat on this earnings for EPS and revenue. So don't let this, you know, them being down 1.8% here in after hours, you know, don't let that upset you if you're a bull. They got a bright future, and they got good financials as a company, good margins, and I see growth in demand going into 2025 for sure. And FedEx still just hanging out here. So keep your eye on FedEx. You can draw the Fibonacci like I did. Just draw it from the top of this red candle where the sell-off started. Draw it down to the bottom wick here, 258.88. Just kind of keep your eyes on these levels and see if it, you know, maybe slowly but surely starts making higher lows. You know, we kind of go from there. But with that said, it's been about almost an hour. Geez, that went by quick. Jedi Master on Discord. Am I free after this stream? Yeah. Oh, okay. You changed your name, so you're Farouk. Gotcha. What's up, buddy? Yeah, just shoot me a DM, man. I mean, I'm always available by DM. Shoot me a DM, and I can answer any questions. Maybe help clarify anything. Maybe solidify something you've been thinking, and you know, let you know if our thesis is aligned, if you will. But with that said, I'm swinging bull with PB alerts. Got over 500 people tuning in to the stream, so welcome. You know, it's good hanging out with everybody, and if you're new, welcome. I do this every week on Wednesdays. Usually pick out two tickers that more of the popular ones on the list, and kind of just go through their previous earnings, what they did during those earnings, and kind of watch the price reaction, maybe do a little technical analysis, of course, get the EPS and revenue data and guidance data. And it's always a lot of fun. So if you're looking for a home, if you're looking for a group to trade with, check us out. It's PB Alerts. There's a link in the description. You can actually join for free. So I'm not here to sell you anything. Just, you know, check out the free section, see how you like it, and go from there. But with that said, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night, and I'll chat with everybody soon.